Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're welcome again on board. Is it Boeing 4577?
49777. My name is Amina Adams. You know me as MC Bugsy. Abu Hanifa.
Of course, it's going to be an incisive edition again. After ìrìn àjò ilé ìta fẹ́ rìn ẹni tó bá miss ẹ̀ ó máa dàbí ẹni tó miss train ní Agége tó ń lọ sí Ìbàdàn. Mi mọ̀ bóyá Abẹ́òkúta ló ti máa lọ join yẹn. Abu Hanifa is my name. I'm also Qasim Fumilayo, so you can conveniently choose anyone you want. But there is Agba Decoder in the house, and that's talking about JB.
Well, JB is the name of this show. One day Abu Hanifa kí ló ń sọ Esalamu. Ṣé o tó sọ fún mi? I get all the Alhamdulillah, it's nice to be back. You know what we do on this show is bumper to fender. Like Abu Hanifa said, after ìrìn àjò. Yes, inshallah. Ìrìn àjò yìí, ìrìn àjò àwa ọ̀dọ́ ni. Yes, I'm not talking about the Gen Zs like Abu Hanifa.
Are you ọ̀dọ́?
Well,
Ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yẹn láti sìn.
okay. By the definition, yes, I'm still a youth.
You are not a youth. Say United Nations definition àbí ti Sharia.
Iye tó bá wù ike fún.
Hatta idha balagha ashuddahu wa balagha 40 sanatan qala rabbi awzi'ni.
No, wait. You are insinuating that I am old. Is that what you're saying?
Bugsy Mama, we have a guest on the show, right?
A youthful guest.
A youthful guest.
Since we're talking about youth,
A useful and youthful guest.
You're definitely Bugsy Mama. You're very right. And mashallah, we have somebody who is an imam, who is a scientist, who is a scholar. I don't know whether he's a writer, but I guess he's writing, yes.
Back in the days, he used to write. He's still writing. If you go to his page, you will see me always drop something that we dawa Allah le.
But dawa Allah
on matters
right
of,
part.
you can just come on the page and just say
And
today,
ask one question.
you know, you'll be like, everybody will now start Furigbari. And he has
And
the
he has
answer.
But you know, the first time I met this brother or this imam or this, he would not like me to call him Sheikh. He prefer Ustaz. I was asking, wait, is this man from Sudan? Or it doesn't look like
Yemen.
us. Or Yemen. Join us as we welcome the other person, Imam Ustaz Kabir, Nasir, Al-Asfar.
He will do he will explain,
He will explain.
but not tire.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam to Allah barakatuh.
Nice having you on Deen Uncoded.
Alhamdulillah, it's a pleasure to be here. This is there a time to eat?
This lovely day.
This lovely day. It's lovely day.
Alhamdulillah.
No.
I'm the closest to you, so I can as well get a handshake, right? I guess.
Oh, of course. You know, on some sets, you can't actually, they'll tell you, don't stretch your hand.
This is Deen Uncoded.
So you get used to it, you keep your hands to yourself, and okay, it's allowed then.
So, on this edition, if you observed that we've been having different types of guests on the show, and they are somewhat, elderly male guests that we've had on the show, somewhat elderly. I remember we started with Sheikh Adangba and all that. And Sheikh Adangba is way above 70 now, I guess.
Yes, it's 70.
You understand. So we had the number. We had Kabir,
We have Onirete of the Kingdom, mashallah.
He's also elderly.
We have Honorable Abdul Hakim. He's going to his 60s now.
Yes.
And we had Ummah Abdullah is the youngest.
Ummah Abdullah is the youngest. So for female,
yeah.
Okay. So and then we've had Oniya.
Oniya is also young.
He's also young.
But he has 3 wives. I don't know whether Ustaz also has 3 wives.
I guess we uncode that. So today we have a lot to learn, seriously, from our Sheikh in the house today. But we're going to start from his personality. Sheikh Abdul Kabir Nasir, for the purpose of record, Minaina Anta.
Itumo.
Okay.
Minaina Anta.
So, Bismillah, alhamdulillah, it's It's a pleasure to be here once again. So I think it's a mixture. So each time my English fails me, I'm going to go to Yoruba.
English fails you.
Yeah,
Have you had
can imagine.
English?
And
You
each
can
time
imagine.
my Yoruba fails me, I go to English. So he said, "Where am I from?" So I have several identities. So and I embrace all of them.
Including the Sudanese and
No, not that. Actually, including the Sudanese, because ordinarily,
Really?
yeah, in ancient times, people below the Sahara were called Sudaniyun. So when they talk about the Bilad of Sudan, they're talking about what is
Try. What? They get your family.
no, yeah, it's actually true. So when they say you are Sudani, they're talking about your skin color, your skin tone. Okay. Anybody that's from Bilad Sudan, we're talking about somebody who has the black skin. So I embrace the Sudani.
But you don't have a black skin.
Yeah.
Yes,
So it's
one.
gonna be part of what I'm going to
Please
talk
do.
about. So let me just so this will not skip my mind. I met a guy from Guinea, and then he came to me and said, I was working in a secondary school then, and the girls were with hijab, and he walked up to me and said, "I want to work." I said, "Then what do you want to teach?" And I said, and he said, "I want to teach Arabic." Then I asked him in Arabic, he said, I asked him, "Do you speak Arabic?" And he said, "Afdol mink." And I looked at him and said, "Better than you."
Wow.
So when I started speaking, I read, yeah, this guy was
Wow.
good.
Wow.
He was a Guinean, studied in Al-Asfar Sharif. Then one way or the other found himself in Nigeria. So when I told him, when he asked, "What's your name?" And I said, "I'm Kabir." I said, Nasir Al-Asfar. That people say I'm Al-Asfar. I said, "No." He said, "No, Anta Fatih Ullah Fakot." He said, your skin is just a bit light. So if you okay, then there was this program some weeks ago. I think one Ummah. I was there with Abu Taymiyyah Jailani and Sheikh Asim Al-Hakim, and I said, "Don't call me Al-Asfar."
Before them,
because you would see that the tone is very, very different. So I still I'm black skinned. So basically I'm Yoruba, and then when I say I'm Yoruba, people are like, you don't look Yoruba. So I am Yoruba, yes. I may have I won't go deep into that anyway. So I'm Yoruba.
No. Here we uncode. Here we uncode. Seriously. If for those who care to know, the meaning of Deen Uncoded is that Deen unscripted. Deen unrestricted. We want to say it
as it is.
Truthfully.
Okay.
We don't lie.
So but wait, it's Deen, Abi.
Yes.
It's Deen Uncoded. So I've got sufficient amount of Fulani blood in me. That's the truth.
How come?
But I am if you check my DNA, you read Ududua DNA. So my name's Kabir Nasir. I'm Yoruba.
From which part of the Yoruba?
I identify more as a Lagosian because this was where I was born and bred. Okay. But originally we're from Osun State. Right. Okay. So but my entire life I spent it in Lagos from childbirth, secondary school, primary school. So I identify more with the Lagos culture because there's a Lagos culture, right? To be frank. So and then when I talked about embracing all your identities, you have a mixture of contradictory identities at times. Your identity as a Lagosian, your identity as a Muslim, your identity as a Yoruba person, your identity as somebody who went through the process of Western secular education. So if you're not careful at times, these things will be antagonistic. So the best thing is I embrace all of this. Okay? Right.
And find the meeting point.
Yeah, which is me.
So the meeting point is you. I like that. Now, in few minutes, can you tell us the journey, your educational journey? Because while I was reading your introduction, I said you are a scientist, you are an imam. But let us look at the academic part of it.
There's no big deal with the academics, right? When I started coming up on TV programs, we say, "So, brother, who are you?" Just put brother there. So, no, we can't have a brother on the show. So why did you bring me here? That is the only thing I have. So, basically, my education is the secular education. I've always been a fan of the sciences. Okay. My father was one who always bought newspapers. I mean, so when he got these papers, I read only 2 pages. Foreign news, then the science page. So because generally I was always interested in sciences. So that was what was on my mind. So, and I found myself also in the Polytechnic studying applied chemistry. So I did applied chemistry in the Polytechnic. So along the way, I started picking interest in Islam. And a lot of what I learned Islamically is self-study. When I'm asked that, where did you
study?
Yeah, self-study. Self-study. So let me elaborate a bit. So I started with English books. So I think that one thing with me is this curiosity that I want satisfied and fulfilled. If I don't get it, I will not rest. So I started reading books in English, and I realized that, okay, there were a lot of questions that I still had. Who were the Shia? Who were the 12 Imams? What was Sunnah? What was... I asked this. So I wrote down these questions. I wrote them down. I got a piece of paper and I started writing them down. I want to know this. I want to know this. So I wrote all of those things down. So then, any environment I find myself, so I'll okay, this guy knows this, so let me learn from him. This guy knows him. Let me learn from him. One of my favorites, and you will understand why I'm mentioning this. One of my favorite preachers then was Sheikh Shasili Sambo.
Allah Akbar.
Ojujojula.
The way
Ojujojula.
I think it's probably this charisma or this. He has this way of
Passing the
talking
message.
authoritatively.
Yeah.
So when he died, I was at the funeral. So as that funeral, I decided, okay, we went to the Ilekeu at a younger stage, but at times, at a point, it stopped. And then we lived in a very liberal home. Nobody's going to tell you. We were Muslims, but nobody's going to tell you, go and pray, or no. So
Just when you're a Muslim.
you're a Muslim. And then, of course, usually the Lagos Muslim type, you do Christmas.
No, sorry,
Right,
sorry,
so-
sorry. I don't like the word Lagos Muslim type. No.
I said,
No.
I said, you have to blend all these identities. There's a Lagos Muslim type. Right?
No.
They say Yoruba
Islam
Muslim
Muslim
type. Right? Sheikh Adam had the
Abu
book.
Hanifa, be careful.
Selling.
Sheikh Adam had a book. I think Nizam Ta'lim, if I'm not mistaken. And then he cited a poem. He said, he was quoting an Hausa, I think one of his sheikh, maybe Namaji also, was saying, Wala aiba fi Yoruba suwa anadinahum
Yes.
kadini
Nasara,
nasara la kadini
Muhammadan.
Muhammadin.
That
Said,
can
the Yorubas have no fault in their religion, except that their religion is more Christian than the religion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That was the Yoruba religion.
Please.
Abu Hanifa, stop.
For the purpose of
Abu
record.
Hanifa, stop.
No. I love Sheikh Adam.
No, Abu Hanifa,
Rahimahullah.
stop.
Badawa.
Abu Hanifa, stop.
Badawa
that-
kan-
yeah, I mean, it's-
ẹjọ́. Badawa, mo fẹ́ dá tẹ̀lé yín ni. Mo fẹ́
It's
mọ̀.
good. Wala aiba fi Yoruba suwa anadinahum kadini nasara la kadini Muhammadin. So
So what have you got to pass?
I'm self-satisfied.
Mashallah.
so I mean it's if discussion comes along that, we have sort of discussions around that, but let me go straight to. So that was the type of Islam we had, and then I started reading and stuff. Then we got to I think the turning point for me was the institution. I went to a polytechnic in Osun because that was what was available for me then. And then I saw the MSS, and then okay, we joined the MSS, and then the MSS then, the Muslim Society in Osun, was more, if you present your evidence, you can speak anywhere. I love that. And then I was an avid reader. So I looked at, I studied the environment and realized, okay, they were citing a particular book. That was Fiqh Sunnah of Said Sabiq in English. So there were two photocopy. The original was very rare then. So I took the first 2 volumes was our Salah. And then the next 2 volumes in English then. So I read the first 2 volumes. Because if you had the boldness to speak, and if you had the knowledge, you become a sheikh automatically. It was good at that time, but it's a problem now, and I will talk about it probably later the question comes. So automatically I became a sheikh. Because if they ask me, I'll tell you that, hey, this is the focus on that. Of course you'll find it, right? So, and the Muslim community is not really a community that reads that much. So if I could read Civic Sunnah, then people say, oh look, this guy is gonna. So MSS got meet me an ESCO. I think I was a librarian because I was
Everywhere.
yes. So
Everywhere.
then we went to I can identify these turning points. We went to what they called LTP, Leadership Training Program. And then that was when Sheikh Albani's book, Tamam Minna, came out. And Tamam Minna was like criticizing Fiqh Sunnah. Yeah. So it was knocking out my power base. So if you said Fiqh Sunnah, just look, Tamam Minna. So those brothers who were speaking then, I could not read Arabic. My Quran was not even okay. I forgot the Shadili thing. It was at Shadili's burial that I decided, no, I'm going to read the Quran. I didn't know how to.
What motivated you?
They had these guys who came to render the recitation of the Quran, and I just loved their rendition. Me too. I must read this thing this way. So that LTP was a turning point. I looked at those brothers speaking. And I said, "What do these people have that I don't have?" And it was Arabic. So I said, if I could learn Arabic, I would probably outpace them because it's going to be reading, right? So that then and there, I took this other look, and I had a friend then because you know the LTP, you have brothers coming from different schools. People have read. You tell me, local champion, go to
LTP
because you will not be able to talk because. So I just asked myself, what do these guys have that I don't have? It's Arabic. If I acquire the Arabic language, then I would match them or probably outpace them. So I said, okay, I'm going to learn the Arabic. And I'm not going to learn the traditional way. Like, I'm not going to learn it that way. I wanted to have a background. So I got a book. I think I heard the name from my dad, even did not have one then. Modern Standard Arabic by David Cohen. When you mention Cohen, people are going to think about his dictionary. That's another Cohen. This David Cohen, Modern Literary Arabic. He gave the intro of the book. He said, if you master this book, you're going to have the foundations to build your Arabic. That was exactly what it was.
Are you serious?
No. If you can sit down and read David Cohen, from back, you have the foundations of Arabic.
What do you call the name of the book?
Modern Standard Arabic. Unfortunately for people, I've bought this book for several people. I give them the book, they will not go beyond the few pages. And what I realized is that no, it's not about comprehension, it's about passion.
Okay.
It's about passion. So when I read this, and I thought, okay, look, I still need to learn traditionally. So that was actually when my journey started. So I look at my environment. This guy knows this thing. I'm going to meet him. So whatever book I can take from him, I'm going to take it. One of my first teachers was the brother's name is Sheikh Sharafuddin Ojekale. When I learned after finishing the Quran, I met a brother. It was Adabi. You know, in Islam Yoruba, you had Adabi or Markazi. I had a mixture, but that's why at times I attribute myself more to the Marakiza than the Arabiya because I had more Marakiza teachers. So I met this brother, Sheikh Kamil Garu. So I asked him, I brought a text to him, we call it Matnu Ajrumiya. So he looked at it and said, no, you can't start from here. Go and buy Matnu Risala. Matnu Risala is in three small volumes. So I bought Matnu Risala. Okay, look, I'm going to just start somewhere because I had the basics. And Arabic is such that if you have the basics in modern standard Arabic, even when they read the Quran, you begin to understand a little of what is being said. So when I met Sharafuddin Ojekale, is Tijani, but this is a surprising thing. When I came to Ajumia is like a condensed, that's why we call it matn. He does the sharhu for me from his head. I bring the text and he says that because then he begins to explain. He took me through the book from the beginning to the end. So at that time, I realized that look, I started reading Arabic. The first book I bought was by Jemi Zinu, where he discussed the issues of that book is in my house. My kids are still going to read it after they finish their now and stuff. So then all of them will read that book because sort of Akida issues in very concise forms. So after that, after him, anybody that I felt this guy knows what I don't know, I learned from them. And then my NYSC. This is another milestone. I actually prayed. When I was going to go for NYSC, I actually prayed to Allah, I don't want to go to the East. Two things. I didn't think that my Iman will be sufficient to protect myself from living in an environment that Islam will not be so represented, right? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And when I say you are alone, whatever you do, nobody knows, right? So these are situations that I asked Allah for something, and I got exactly what I wanted. I asked Allah that I want Kanu or Kaduna. That's what I asked.
What did you get?
I got Kaduna.
Allah.
And then in Kaduna, I met two beautiful brothers who were graduates from Medina. Sheikh Nasir. You know him?
Oh, really? Who doesn't know Sheikh Nasir?
Sheikh Nasir, I don't know, you won't know this person. Not Abu Nasir. Sheikh Nasir Busairi, that's his name. Nasir Busairi is a Yoruba person, but schooled in Jos, then from there to Medina. So it's not brother from Kogi State, either Muhammad Yunus and Idawi. Both of them did hadith.
Oh.
So I met them. One of the things I wanted was to be able to speak Arabic to an extent. All right, that was one of the things I wanted. I didn't want to be able to read alone.
So you didn't serve for government to just note that you didn't serve. You went to Kaduna to learn Islam.
If people ask me, you were in Kaduna, you didn't even learn Hausa. No, I learned Hausa that would make me buy stuff and get me from one place to the other. But my focus then, it was like an obsession. So like, if it's going to speak Arabic, I'll speak the nonsense I have and tell let's speak that Arabic. And it really, really helped. So because guys
me, I'm talking about Deen Uncoded here. You went to service.
Yeah.
We have 4 cardinal requirements for NYSC.
Yeah.
The first one is orientation camp.
Okay.
The second one is primary assignment.
Okay.
The third one is community service.
Okay.
Community service.
Yeah.
You're right.
Civics,
The fourth one is POP.
Yeah, partner parade.
Doing all these things, you were with Sheikh Nasir.
He did all the 4.
No. I did everything. You can combine everything.
Why would he do all the 4 now?
See.
So basically, I mean, what you just said will make me go to the point that at times people ask you, I'm in school, what should I do about learning? So I tell them, look, if you are doing 5 courses, add your Arabic and make it the 6th course. So if you got a timetable, just put the Arabic somewhere. So it's like that's what the NYC was. I mean, you have a lot of time during the NYC.
Of course.
So you do all the POP, everything you talked about now, and then you still have time on your hand. So these people did hadith. They were open. I mean, you know, in some communities, you want to discuss certain issues, right? And then people want to shut you down. No, they would allow you. I'm going to debate with them for hours. And then there was a library. We were like, okay, this point is not clear. Go and bring the book. We sit down, look at the book. So they really, really also well. And that's how it has always been for me. Environment I find myself. Okay, I remember there was a time I actually went to a madrasa. I got there, they give me the Markazi syllabus, and I said, okay, and I said, I have a bit of knowledge of Arabic. So the brother wanted to test me, said, okay, read this. Of course, there were no vowel markings, no fat markings. They said, no, you're lying, you bring the madrasa. I said, no, it's not. So that was how I learned really.
Okay. There's something to Mufekau. Láàrin àwọn ọ̀dọ́, wàhálà divorce ó ti pọ̀jù tó wà. Ẹ jẹ́ fún instance kan tó bà mí nínú jẹ́. We did a particular nikah and it did not last 30 days. Most months of 30 days. And when you look at the rate of divorce, even among bearded brothers, sisters with hijab, with jilbab, you'll be amazed. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀?
Bí tó ti ń gba knowledge ọ̀nà àwọn afáwa ní pé.
Can that be?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit complex. Kì í ṣe nǹkan ẹyọ kan.
Àwọn afáà gan kọra.
Èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ wo àwọn nǹkan yẹn holistically. As I said, in my Yoruba phase, I'll go to English. And in my English, I'll go to so, but because time Yoruba, I'll start with you. I was going to do so. Kì í ṣe nǹkan tó yẹ kó ojú kan láfi wo, láfi gbogbo ojú wo ni. Àkọ́kọ́, a lè yọ̀tọ̀ lákòókò láwùjọ wa. right? We can't take tọ́lák out of it. Tí ò bá sì di ni Ọlọ́run bá lè kí ọlá kò ní ṣe tọ́lák ní ẹ̀tọ́. Bó ti yẹ pé tó ọ̀rọ̀ máa ń pọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ àwọn àfáà lórí pé kí ni ìdájọ́ tọ́lák ní pé tó ìpìlẹ̀ ní pé àfẹ́. Ṣùgbọ́n láwùjọ tó bá lálàáfíà a gbọ́dọ̀ rí tọ́lák. Tó dàbá rí tọ́lák kó tó wọ́n sí pé àwọn kan ń gbé ìgbésí ayé ìnira nù ìgbéyàwó ni. Right? Tábà rí tọ́lák rárá àwọn kan ń gbé ìgbésí ayé ìnira nù ìyàwó. Ṣùgbọ́n tó ṣe pàtàkì ni pé kò gbọ́dọ̀ wá pọ̀ débi pé ibi bá tọ́lák, ibi bá tọ́lák. Let's say a healthy environment, maybe 10%, 20% tọ́lák. But as you said, just as you said now, back on everywhere. Mo ti gbọ́ tẹ́nìkan sọ we are 1 week, 2 weeks or some things like that. So àkọ́kọ́ èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ pín sọ́nà méjì. Nǹkan tó yẹ pé tó àwọn tọ́láàkì ó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti wáyé. Fàpẹẹrẹ nísìn tàbá rí ìkan náà bí àwọn oníbọ́kọ tó bá ń ṣe ẹbọ gidi, so èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ support pé tọ́láàkì gbọ́dọ̀ wáyé ni.
Kó má kó bẹ́ẹ̀ ni lẹ́nu.
Àbí kó yẹ pé ó ń ṣe zìnà bóyá ọkọ ni bóyá ìyàwó ni tọ́lák gbọ́dọ̀ wáyé nínú àwọn nǹkan yẹn náà. Kì í ṣe zìnà nǹkan fúnra rẹ̀ ó máa ń dùnyàn, ṣùgbọ́n in tó jẹ́ ó le jù ní pé àrùn pọ́ńtà nísìn. I mean, the HIV infection rate is going up, even in Lagos State here. So ẹni tó bá ń sùn káàkiri, somebody sleeps around, tó ń ṣe zìnà káàkiri, wọ́n padà kó bá ẹni tó wà nílé. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta òun ni ìmáfìyà jẹ obìnrin. What we call physical and emotional abuse. So emotional abuse yẹn lómi ò ní fẹ́ gbọ́ pé agbẹ́rẹ́ èmi náà kì í fẹ́ gbà tẹ́tẹ́, ṣùgbọ́n gbàtẹ́ báyọ̀ wá jókòó táwọn obìnrin àgbà no emotional abuse wà lórí.
Ọkùnrin náà wà abuse o.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. So láwùjọ wa lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbà obìnrin ni máa ń sábà kó sí páńpẹ́ yìí.
I want to disagree, sir.
No, because it's experience, right? So my experience,
okay,
right? It's a subjective thing. So ọkùnrin máa ń kó àti physical abuse ọkùnrin náà máa ń kó sí. Mo obìnrin tó máa lu ọkọ ẹ̀.
Èmi ò sọ abuse tọkùnrin pọ̀ emotionally ju physical lọ.
But why for a lot of men? Only my judge was like, I was abused emotionally.
Exactly, because right? They don't talk.
Yeah, fine. So tó bá jẹ́ pé ọkùnrin wà from my own experience tó bá jẹ́ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ lọkùnrin náà ṣe wà emotionally abused ó yẹ ká ti máa gbọ́ because tóbi náà bá sọ pé I'm emotionally abused máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé kí ni nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. My husband is narcissist. Those are vague words. Explain to me what is actually happening. Tó bá jẹ́ pé BP èèyàn high, right? BP èèyàn high. Tọkùnrin náà bá dé bí abíbi báyìí mo ti fẹ́ kú báyìí tó ta tẹ̀sán pé lóòótọ́ emotionally abused. Tó bá yẹ pé kéèyàn máa kọkùnrin kan máa bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ sí nípa ìyàwó ẹ̀ kó máa sun ẹkún gidi àkókò someone. I mean, I've spoken to sisters who have been harming themselves because of the problems. Self-harm because of the problems they are finding in the household. So ìyẹn àwọn eléyìí they are legitimate reasons for talaq and for us to encourage talaq. Now we have illegitimate reasons or problematic reasons. People ń fa àwọn nǹkan yìí. Àwọn eléyìí wọ́n pín sọ́nà méjì. Ọ̀nà alákọ̀ọ́kọ́ ẹni tó mọ̀ kò níyàwó ṣe ó fẹ́ jẹ́ ń bẹ̀ ni. Eléyìí ìmọ̀ sábà wà lọ́dọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n lórúkọ láwùjọ. Ìyẹn máa ń dùnyàn in the sense yìí pé táwọn obìnrin bá fẹ́ ṣẹ̀sìn tán wá rẹ́ni tó já àfáà pọ̀ wọn fẹ́fẹ́ wọ́n máa ń fi gbogbo ọkàn wọn tán rẹ̀ nìyẹn. So nígbà míì ẹlòmíì náà tó bá ti di pé ìfẹ́ gbọ́ ìlàkàyè òkè ń fi bẹ́ẹ̀ sí ń bẹ̀ mọ́. So eléyìí àwọn obìnrin máa ń sábà kó sí páńpẹ́. So ẹlòmíì mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ kó rẹ̀ síbẹ̀ ni o ẹlòmíì ò mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ tó bá ti pé wọ́n ṣe nìkan gba àbẹ̀ ṣe bí tọ́láàkì wá ẹbí aláàrin tó ń tọ́láàkì ìyẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ẹni tó àwọn tí wọ́n mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ ṣe yìí I call them married bandits, right? There are people who are like that. They focus on the divorcees, the widow. I've seen pattern like this. They will focus on people who are divorced, who are divorced, and then they go after them because they know that at that level they are vulnerable. Right? So, and it's painful that a Muslim is doing this. A Muslim who claims to be a tolerable end. So I'm speaking from experience, right, of what I know. So, deliberately lẹ́yìn ìfẹ́ ṣe nǹkan yìí, right? Ọjọ́ ọkùnrin, ọjọ́ obìnrin, because obìnrin náà wà tó ń ṣerú àwọn kan yìí. But as I said, ọkùnrin lè mímọ̀ ju ti obìnrin. That's my experience. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ni pé eléyìí kò mọ̀ọ́mọ̀ ṣe, right? Àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ Gen Z and younger people, right? They see some of the challenges táwọn sisters wọn rí, táwọn ìyá wọn rí. So they come into marriage with high expectations and there's a particular word I'm looking for.
Mindset.
No. high expectation ṣá let me just àwọn nǹkan tí mo fẹ́ nu marriage lélẹ̀ àwọn nǹkan yìí kò dẹ̀ ń gbọdọ̀ rí 100% ni so eléyìí
tí ò dẹ̀ ṣe ṣe
eléyìí ló wà very important for us to try to correct. So you come into marriages and you realize that these guys are not compatible, and then you want to tell them that look, this thing is something that you guys can reconcile, but they are not ready to listen to that. They feel that no, this guy has abused me emotionally, he has getting I'm going out of it. So just one more. Another one under this is that imani gbígbóná. And tí wọ́n fún ní imani gbígbóná kò fún wa this ó gbàgbọ́ imani gbígbóná ẹ̀ ó lọlé mo fẹ́ marry and parents ẹ̀ nígbà gílọ́gílọ́ ó sọ fún pé kìwó àti ẹ̀rọ fún wìláyà kó làwọn àwọn bàbá ẹ̀yẹn wọ̀n lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti fẹ́ lọ́kọ mọ́ àwa ti tó láti fẹ́ lọ́kọ. I had a case whereby the brother who married the sister declared the husband a kafir, declared the father of the sister unworthy of being the wali, then married the sister. 3 steps. So some of the sisters, I don't pity them, right? Because why did
you pity them?
So ìgbà tí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn ẹlòmíín wà tó yẹ kó ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ́dọ̀ wa yìí tó bá gbọ́ fátọ́ kan bí kan akọ̀fọ̀ lọ síbẹ̀ kò ní padà wá béèrè. I'm like, this is experience. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn máa ti gba eléyìí Al-Asfar ló serious pẹ̀lú ẹ̀sìn mọ̀ ó ti láwọn onímọ̀ ní gbígbóná. A lot of them get their hands burnt, right? Tó bá délé tán, this is the painful part. Àti ìjábù àti nìkanbu, they throw everything away. So if a person removes the niqab, the hijab, look at what happened to sister, I pause and say, no, ask her what is going on in her life. Oftentimes, the person that she has put so much trust in that will protect her, the person will, after 2 children,
Sheikh, we had a guest on this show that was quite very emotional for us. She really went through a lot. And for us, we've been praying that Allah finds her, gives her tranquil so that she can get her footing back. That's Abdullah. You must have heard about the story. How do you think she could find her footing again to get happiness that she really deserves?
If I may, before we get to the issue of because we have access to a scholar now, I would actually rather that you help sisters highlight. We didn't get to highlight a lot of the red flags during the show because of the sensitivity of the issue, because we needed to put a lot of empathy on display to make, give her some sort of space. From what you know of similar cases, especially because you are in that space as a counselor, of similar instances that you've seen of, I'm glad you mentioned the abuse, the vulnerability of the sister, and you take advantage of it. How do this sister, what do they look out for? What red flags can they see up front? Where do they seek help? Look at the kind of brother that take field, the father, the brother, and the mother, just so that you can get to the forbidden fruit. So subhanAllah, what can this sister start to do to prevent themselves from falling yakata?
So basically that, right? Not sisters alone, also for brothers. It helps. I'm going to give general rules. So the sisters are usually more vulnerable in our own environment, and because of the nature of our society, they are the most vulnerable. A man can go through 1, 2, 3, 4 marriages and still pick a 5th one. I had a brother who divorced 4 wives in a day. And then he wanted to marry another person. Then I asked him, who knows you? Then he told me, oh, this person knows me. Then I called the person. And I said, he's a good man, but this issue of marriage, I will not support it. He divorced 4 women in a day. And then we asked him, he said, this is right. So why would I look for another girl and give 4 women in a day? 4 women in a day, or 4 wives anyway. So I'm not sure but he divorced. He had 4 wives at the time. He divorced all of them. So basically, if you can't have 4 Muslim sisters come right? The first thing ni pé gbogbo ẹni tó máa ń ṣẹ̀sìn kó wá ẹni tó nímọ̀ tó dàgbà kó ṣàwọn kó mú ọ láàfà ó nímọ̀ ó dàgbà Those two conditions are non-negotiable. They must be knowledgeable and they must be matured or old. Because age man right? Because the way things are now, people pick knowledge very easily. I mean, you meet a young person that has memorized the Quran, not with one qira'ah, two qira'ah, three qira'ah. Right? So you have a lot of young people who are knowledgeable now. And it told Dagba to nimo nike on mulafa. So I told Dagba to nimo ta mulafa. Kò ní jẹ́ pé òun nìkan là ń gbọ́n tó bá sọ. Tó bá sọ ta pé àkíní ó tako làákàyè àbí kò fẹ́ rí bí tí mo ti pè. Kò túmọ̀ sí pé òdodo kọ́ lẹ́nu yẹn sọ. But seek for a second opinion. Even in hospitals, don't seek for a second opinion. Particularly if you are about to take a life-changing decision like marriage or any other thing. 2 points now. Seek for a matured and knowledgeable person. Second one, seek for a second opinion. If you have a main sheikh, you may also have subsidiary sheikhs that you call on. That you are not doing it, don't do it because you want to fatwa shop, right? Yeah. Do it because you want to know what actually is the truth. That's 2 conditions. Number 3, whosoever you crush over amongst the tulab and your favorite sheikh, your favorite scholar, when issues become issues of marriage, then you need to take extra precaution. Because it's no longer what is the rule on placing my hand on my head when I'm praying? Is the salah still valid? It's now about your life. So people get swept away when it comes to issues of marriage. I mean, of course, for men, it's usually money. If you love a sheikh and say, I need a new cyber truck, so for men, business, you lose your money. For women, they lose themselves because ultimately you get pregnant and then the person will say that, well, I'm no longer even interested. Talak is sunnah. So you when it comes to marriage, then don't. Some people, when it becomes issue of marriage, they will not tell another person again. The love of her life has approached her. No other person needs to hear. No other voice of reason would make it. Your sheikh proposing to you is just like another person. You're supposed to vet him. Maybe Allah bless a sister. One of the very popular mashayikh proposed to a lady, and then she called me and she asked, we want to ask after him because we know him publicly. We don't know him privately. And I said, I'm not in the best position to give a private assessment. This is his student. Call him, he will know him better. So that's point number 3. Point number 4, if they call us, that what do you know about this brother? Or what do you know about this sister? It is khiyana, a betrayal of trust, for us to shield somebody we know is a serial abuser. No negative about him, right? So, and I tell people, I may not come out to say that so and so does this, but if somebody asks me about you, that I know that you do this, I will not mince my words. So I will tell him that I said this, that this is what he did. One of the imams also on the island, I called him about a brother because brother said he prays there, and he wanted to marry a girl as a second or a third wife, and the imam said, mashallah, he's a good brother, he comes to the mosque, but I don't like the way he divorces women. That's sufficient. We owe people this. Because at times some of these stories are in the community. Right? One of these, I talk about some people being married bandits. What they do, right? If they know that Ali Mosho, they've known them, that he has divorced too, he goes to another place. People go up north. And that's another red flag. If a brother is coming from Lagos and he cannot find a wife in Lagos and is coming to Jos or Kaduna to look for a wife, you are supposed to ask him, but brother, finish. Okay, he may even have a very good excuse. Say that sisters in Lagos, they are expensive. I cannot. Yeah, Lagos sisters are expensive.
They are expensive.
That makes sense. I'm not asking that. Okay, but what about sisters in Osun, in Ibadan? You left all of these places and then you are coming up north, right? So what are you coming there to do? People marry out their daughters without any assessment at all.
Very bad.
There was a brother I knew who left Alimosho for a lot of reasons, and he went to Kaduna. Then he got married, and then he came back. He got married in Kaduna. I heard he got married at Kaduna. Then I was attending a program in the in the Lagos State House of Assembly works. I saw him, and there was a sister behind him. And I asked him, "Is this the sister you married in Kaduna?" He said, "No, I married her when I got here." I was like, subhanallah. So this is how sisters are cheap. That is the blunt truth, right? So these guys know how to play their game, identify people, and of course, it's the era of social media.
Sisters beware.
I thought that you asking people who lone wolves are always evidence that something is wrong. You must, I mean, if you're an active brother, you must know something about
through your investigation.
Do your investigations very well. And of course, we cannot all be perfect. We should pray. If you're going to marriage, you need prayers because some people are very, very skillful.
They are predators.
Yeah, and they talked about Ummah. I watched the clip because two sisters forwarded it to me. So the second person forwarded it to me that I said, I have to watch this thing. So she had her errors, right? I don't want to dwell much on that. She had her own errors. When you say manipulation and stuff like that, manipulation does not rob you of your intellect. The moment your Sheikh, Ustaz, Maulana, your Murid, the moment it starts touching you, you're supposed to understand that, yes, this is no longer normal. So at times we hear these stories because both parties were complicit, but because it didn't end up in marriage. That's why we are hearing the stories. If it end up in marriage, nothing will be said. The moment anybody who is close to you starts touching you without your parents giving an express consent that you are married to him, then you're supposed to know that something is wrong. There are others who will go to a person's house and say that they bought drinks for us, and that means we are married. So no, they bought drinks because you came home to they wanted to invite you. They have not given you their consent, and that's why some of these things that jurists talk about in the old books are very essential. Where the hijab, was it expressly pronounced? Was a Kabul expressly said? Are there at least two male witnesses who witness that we married so and so to so and so? Those things are there to protect us, protect our dignity.
Our case became more worrisome and a serious concern for us because there was also a case of battering. She had married at a point and the husband was molesting her physically, physical abuse. You know, you talk about emotional abuse, but a combination of physical and emotional abuse. All those were the things she had to face.
So the physical abuse, I think that
was physical.
I mean, so we try to identify what was happening, and if it's constant, I don't really have much to do with that. You go to Lagos State domestic violence, and they deal with it. If it's consistent, if it's deliberate, if it's harming you for then you have to protect yourself. Some people get harmed in such relationships. Sisters are the ones who need to be extra careful, right? Even the Lagos State domestic abuse, right? The violence agency, right? A lot of sisters are not able to prosecute their cases up to the point of getting anything tangible. I work with sisters. Even divorce, if you are not supervising her, tell her she has to keep it. She goes to the court the first time, and then she comes and tells her, "Oh, I'm tired. I leave everything to God." I mean, this lady said 3 times she left that guy and she was coming back.
Yes, the last one.
You see, so this one's battering you. As you said, battery. If what she has described is correct, right? And then he battered you up to the point that you have to run out of the house, and then you're coming back the first time, the second time, the third time. Something is wrong. So a lot of these things we need to also, and at times, of course, we need to sit with the husband. As I said, we are only looking at our own perspective. If the other man was there, we need to ask him what actually happened. But that man, as she said, was not even a religious person, right?
Yes.
Right.
So she lost interest in religious people.
For her, really, I think that the major problem she had was in her first relationship. I don't think that she has healed. I think that she needs to actually sit down.
Is there Islamic help or therapy that she can get apart from medical?
It's what that will do to her. I mean, so one of those things in our community now is the rise of marriage counselors, therapists. I don't call myself a counselor. I tell her, look, if you want love and stop some, if you are coming to me, I'm going to tell you the Sharia rule. And I'm not going to say, don't apportion blame. No, I will apportion blame. So go and look for people who can talk about the mushy stuff. So I tell them, look, this guy does those things. Go and talk to them. So there should be premarital. Some people have problems with these counselors. Why should I have problems with it? We want to solve the problem of the marriage problems we have in our community. Anything that would mitigate it is good.
This was the approach that we had when we had Ummah Abdullah on set. We were basically looking at it from Islamic point of view, not being concerned about our emotional state of mind at the present. We were analyzing the issues of the past based on the Sharia. This is wrong. This is right. We were not considering our state of mind at the moment.
I wouldn't, because it's an Islamic discussion, so I wouldn't fault outrightly looking at it from a Sharia angle. But what struck me listening to her was that this woman is still emotionally damaged. The second marriage seems like a rebound to me. Yes. Similarly for the third marriage, I think that she has not properly healed from what happened the first time. That disappointment of the first time is still having an impact on her life. And then when she said she lost interest in religious people, she didn't really lose interest that much, because she was saying that she realized that the second guy did not have the religion which she lost interest in. So what she just needs to do is probably see, I mean, they have premarital counseling, marital counseling, postmarital counseling. She's still traumatized,
but she can still be fine.
She can be fine. One other thing, and of course, I need to say this: when marriages fail, women by nature are more emotional than men. Women also by biology, when we get intimate, the hormones that the woman releases, they call it the glue hormone, oxytocin, if I'm not for it. So they get more clingy. And when marriage collapses, it affects them far more than it affects men. One of the things I will need to stress is that marriage does not define a happy life. This is fundamental. You cannot, it doesn't mean that if you are not married, you'll be unhappy. Yes, there are societal expectations. Yes, the religion encourages it. But do not kill yourself because your marriage did not work.
Male or female.
But if you could marry, it's a good thing. Gives you companionship. It gives you. But if you are with somebody who you are not happy from morning till night, marriage shouldn't be what determines.
So for the single sisters, I think what I heard you say is marriage is not a trophy. It's not the ultimate, and it's about themselves now, as opposed to desperately seeking marriage and then it's not. So I think, because there are a lot of sisters, when I say single, I'm talking about the divorced, the widows, the never been married before, and hopefully we'll stop being praised.
See, I'll just disagree slightly. Please,
they will not quote you now. They will not quote you now.
I talked about the fact that a lot of Gen Z younger girls are looking at what is happening and are saying that, okay, this person is upon the sunnah. They've divorced themselves. They're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They know a parent who is divorced. They know if their own parents are not divorced. They know a sister. They know their friends. Yes. They know their friends. Some of them in very terrible ways. There was a nikah I got involved in, whereby the guy divorced her because he said that her body parts were not big enough. So somebody that you saw and then you slept with, the first night when you realized that they were not big enough, why don't you leave her alone? And you touched that. Right? And young girls who are not married were friends with this girl. And she's going to tell them that, Sunni brother did men are scam. So, yes. So it's not all of us. The only problem is generalization, right? The only problem is generalization, right? So, what I would say is that, look, the Messenger of Allah told us that the nikah is my sunnah. Exactly. Right? And then we are encouraged that to get married. However, what I'm trying to drive at is that because you are not married should not drive you into depression, right? That is very, very important for divorcees, for people who are widowed, who still want companionship. Yes, if you can find it, yes, it's a good thing. If you cannot,
We really.
there are other things
This
to make
is
you
the
happy.
point. This is the point where we need to call it today. It must. It's a wonderful edition. We must to thank Sheikh Al-Asfar, Sheikh Kabir, Nasir, Hafizahullah for his time on the show, Deen Uncoded. We truly do have other areas to touch, but unfortunately, we have to call it an episode at this time. We want to thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you very much. You're welcome. You're welcome.
So
It's
when
been a
sisters
pleasure.
begin to ask for your contacts for further discourse, I'm sure it is not a no.
Please protect him.
Abu Hanifa is my name, Kosim Fumilayo.
MC Boxe is my name. Inshallah, we'll see you on another episode.
All right, JB is the name, and that's where we wrap it up on the show today. Inshallah, next time we'll be uncoding another set of things. We are quite appreciative of Allah's mercy on us. Do the right thing always and follow the Sunnah of Allah and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.